Hello, everybody, and welcome to our latest Topline video. My name is Stu, and he is
Chet.
done. We've got that bit nailed. We're of course here to talk about the webinars that have come up over the last month or so, and the ones that are coming up on the lead up to the World Management Agility Forum that will be held in Lisbon the 19th to the 21st of September. Now, before we go deep into talking about the webinars, it might be quite nice to talk a little bit more about this conference, because Chet, this is your 9th conference, is that right?
I believe this is my ninth one. I missed the very first year, but haven't missed any since then. And it's sort of the highlight of my year now, since I'm mostly retired. And this is the only conference I take time to go to anymore because of the quality of the speakers, the diversity of the ideas, and of course the beautiful location in Lisbon. Uh, so
And of course, seeing me, Chet,
and
that's
seeing you.
of course. Now you're absolutely right. The most beautiful food, the most beautiful drink, the most wonderful people, the most amazing minds. There's always so many amazing insights. I'm always very excited. Hopefully we've sold it. We look forward to seeing you. Make sure you do register today. So we've had two webinars since the last time me and Chet jumped on one of these. We have had Reimagining Leadership with AI, which was held on the 16th of May. And we've also had the Reimagining Management Towards Excellence, which was held on the 6th of June. Now, Chet, what are your thoughts and key takeaways from these webinars?
Well, the reimagining leadership with AI, I thought was a really good discussion with some folks who are hands-on, using these tools to actually change how their organizations work. It was a very unvarnished approach. They talked about the things it can help us with and the things that it frees us up to be able to spend our time doing. And I think that's really the key thing about these tools is not what they do for us themselves, but what they allow us to do that really puts emphasis on the skills of management.
I love it. I love it. Absolutely. And there was so much to be said for, leaders, right? Keeping their eyes on the tools and remaining relevant. But again, it all came down to the core element of being human and human leadership. I'll say a bit more about that because that kind of came up a little bit in the other webinar. But it was a really nice quote where someone said that you can get from naught, to 80% really fast, but the last 20% relies on the human touch. And I think that's the key thing, right?
I think that's the key to any sort of tool, is that it frees you up to do the things that are important. And the first 80% are sometimes rather rote and predictable, whereas it's the things that take you from where everybody else is all the way to where you really want to be that matters. And that's where brains and humans working together becomes the important aspect. And I think that kind of ties into the next webinar as well as with reimagining management towards excellence, because it is that excellence that is required to move us to the 100%.
Absolutely. There was a lot to be said for natural leadership needing to be earned through trust, and then from those that follow them, and to give up on power. And I think it's everything that I was hearing from the webinars, much like yourself there, was all around emotional intelligence, the ability to connect with people. So it's, there's some new and interesting things, and everyone thinks that AI is going to take over the world. It's not, from my perspective, from hearing these, but we need to keep our eyes on the ball, but we need to continually remain being human. I think that's the key thing that we need to take from this. And of course, the interesting thing about these webinars is all of these little nuggets and these micro sessions give you an idea of a flavor of what is to come at the conference. On that note, the upcoming webinar will be Reimagining Value Creation, which will be held on June the 20th. Chet, what are your thoughts on this title, and what do you think might come from this webinar?
Well, first of all, I'd like to notice that the webinars leading up to it have all been leading towards this. Certainly, the last two, the AI and the excellence topics, are just foundational to the creation of value, and that's why we're here. Our jobs are to create value for our customers, value for our organizations, value for our stakeholders, value for our employees, value for the world,
Mm.
and emphasis on excellence builds towards that, and the use of these new tools free us up to be able to spend time to discover where that excellence needs to come into play in order to support that value. And so I think this is a really well curated set of webinars, and I'm impressed that we're leading in this direction.
Love it. No, I couldn't agree more. So, like, once again, you know, you've heard it from me and Chet, we like storytelling. It's a really interesting story, and it's not necessarily one that we know the ending of yet. And yeah, watch this space. Until the next time, thank you very much.
Thank you. We'll see you in Lisbon.